Study Session 10: Family Social Problems. Introduction. In this study session, you will examine social problems that are related to the family. Focus is on family violence, child trafficking, and prostitution. Note that these problems are deviant behaviors because they are not morally accepted by the society, and they are also distressful to the individual and the people around them. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Discuss the forms and causes of family violence. 2. Point out ways in which children could be exploited. 3. Identify childhood developmental traumas. And 4. Identify causes of prostitution. Family violence. Violence between family members is not new, but child abuse received attention and was acknowledged as a social problem not too long ago, while husband-to-wife abuse received attention even decades later. Wife-to-husband abuse has just recently become a matter of concern. Domestic violence had been tacitly accepted as normal, and rights of chastisement remain enshrined in laws, which accord unequal rights of husbands over wives and of parents over children. All violence is shocking, but aggression between inmates is especially disturbing. Everybody wants to feel safe with those we know and love, but this type of sense of security is destroyed by violence. Child abuse. It is sad to note that many research reports have shown that a considerable number of parents inflict physical pain on their children at some time during disciplinary encounters. The United Nations recently released a report on the nature and causes of violence against children on a global level. The UN Secretary-General study on violence against children was a joint initiative that began in 2003 and was sponsored by the Office of the High Commissioner on Human Rights, the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF), and the World Health Organization. Reports of cruel and humiliating punishments, genital mutilation of girls, neglect, sexual abuse, homicide, and other forms of violence against children have long been recorded, but the grave and urgent nature of this global problem has only recently been revealed. The report noted that the need for action is evident in statistics. The following statistics. 1. The World Health Organization estimated that almost 53,000 child deaths in 2002 were homicides, according to the context of loved ones and known persons. Number 2. An estimated 150 million girls and 73 million boys under 18 have experienced forced sexual encounters or other forms of sexual violence. 3. UNICEF estimates that in sub-Saharan Africa, Egypt and Sudan, 3 million girls and women are subjected to female genital mutilation every year. Number 4. The International Labour Organization estimates that 218 million children were involved in child labour in 2004. 126 million were engaged in hazardous work. In Nigeria, cases of child labour in different disguises abound. The case study presented below shows the guises at which this problem occurs. Case study on child labor. One Mrs. A 45-year-old Nigerian, brought a child aged 18 years to Chief Mrs. K as a house help and claimed that the child worked with her and she would be coming at the end of the month to collect her monthly salary because she had to remit the money to her parents to keep for the girl to go to school later. Investigations later revealed that the woman was actually the mother of the child and that her first child, aged 15, had been placed somewhere for the same type of work and she had been going there every month to collect the salary on behalf of the girl. She actually had no intention of sending the children to school. She had remarried 4 times to different men apart from the father of her grown-up children. She had therefore been using these children to generate revenue for her upkeep. With this revelation, Chief Mrs. K decided, with the help of social workers, to send the child to school personally and counseled Mrs. A to stop exploiting her children. Cases like these abound within the society today. Children are often abused, manipulated and exploited by their parents and loved ones. On some other occasions, they are trafficked to neighboring countries to work for their masters. Some others are often sexually abused. This is a deviant behavior because everybody would expect that children born by parents should be loved and cared for. When the same parents now turned around to be aggressive against the child, this could set some fearful jolts through one's spine. Spousal abuse. Spousal abuse refers to the violence or mistreatment that a woman or a man may experience at the hands of a marital, common law, or same-sex partner. Spousal abuse may happen at any time during a relationship, including while it is breaking down or after it has ended. This phenomenon occurs when one person in an intimate relationship or marriage tries to dominate and control the other person. Victims of domestic abuse or domestic violence may be men or women, although women are more commonly victimized. This abuse happens among heterosexual couples and in same-sex partners. Except for the gender difference, domestic abuse doesn't discriminate. It happens with all age ranges, ethnic backgrounds, and financial levels. The abuse may occur during a relationship, while the couple is breaking up, or after the relationship has ended. Is an abuser's behavior a psychopathology or a choice? The above question has been found difficult to answer by researchers. Some theorized that the spousal abusers are psychologically sick and require treatment to normalize. Some others felt that the abusers are using their behavior to gain some personal reward, and this has been the motivator. They assumed that the behavior is a matter of choice rather than loss of control for the following reasons. 1. A batterer does not batter other individuals. For example, the boss who does not give him time off, or the gas station attendant that spills gas down the side of his car. He waits until there are no witnesses and abuses the person he says he loves. 2. If you ask an abused woman, can he stop when the phone rings or the police came to the door? She will say yes. Most often, when the police shows up, he's looking calm, cool and collected, and she is the one who may look hysterical. 3. The abuser very often escalates from pushing and shoving to hitting in places where the bruises and marks will not show. If he were out of control or in a rage, he would not be able to direct or limit where he kicks or punches. Whatever one's belief, spousal abusers require some psychotherapy because they are suffering from some psychological skill deficits, and except they are exposed to some skill training, they may never be able to acquire such skills and so may continue to victimize their spouse. Let's now consider some types of spousal abuse. Types of spousal abuse. There are many forms of spousal abuse, and a person may be subjected to more than one form. Physical abuse may consist of just one incident, or it may happen repeatedly. It includes using physical force in a way that injures someone or puts them at risk of being injured, including beating, hitting, shaking, pushing, choking, biting, burning, kicking, or assaulting with a weapon. Other forms of physical abuse may include, for example, rough handling, confinement, or any dangerous or harmful use of force or restraint. Sexual abuse and exploitation includes all forms of sexual assault, sexual harassment, or sexual exploitation. Forcing someone to participate in unwanted, unsafe, or degrading sexual activities, or using ridicule or other tactics to try to denigrate, control, or limit their sexuality or productive choices is sexual abuse. Emotional abuse includes verbal attacks such as yelling, screaming, and name-calling, using criticism, verbal threats, social isolation, intimidation, or exploitation to dominate another person are other forms of emotional abuse. Criminal harassment or stalking may include threatening a person or their loved ones, demanding their possessions, or harming their pets. Economic or financial abuse includes stealing from or defrauding a partner, withholding money that is necessary to buy food or medical treatment, manipulating or exploiting a person for financial gain, denying them access to financial resources, or preventing them from working or controlling their choice of occupation are also forms of economic abuse. Spiritual abuse includes using a person's religious or spiritual beliefs to manipulate, dominate, or control them. It may include preventing someone from engaging in spiritual or religious practices or ridiculing their beliefs. Abusive partners may use a number of different tactics to try to exert power and control over their victim. Abuse is a misuse of power and a violation of trust. The abuse may happen once, or it may occur in a repeated and escalating pattern over a period of months or years. The abuse may change from time to time. Causes of domestic violence. Psychological theories focus on personality traits and mental characteristics of the offender. Personality traits include sudden bursts of anger, poor impulse control, and poor self-esteem. Various theories suggest that psychopathology and other personality disorders are factors, and that abuse experienced as a child leads some people to be more violent as adults. Studies have found high incidence of psychopathy among abusers. Dutton has suggested a psychological profile of men who abuse their wives, arguing that they have borderline personalities, both psychotic and neurotic, which are developed early in life. Gelly suggests that psychological theories are limited and pointed out that other researchers have found only 10% or less fitting this psychological profile. He argues that social factors are important, while personality traits, mental illness, or psychopathy are lesser factors. Theory of self-esteem states that low level of self-esteem has made people to seek physical and external means to boost their sense of self. Like most aggressive actions, spousal abuse is multiply determined. Among the factors associated with increased partner aggression are personal characteristics such as age, attitude towards violence, drug and alcohol abuse, and personality/personality disorder, socio-economic status including education and income, interpersonal conflict, stress, social isolation, and experience of growing up in a violent family. In the same vein, child abuse is also multiply determined. Among factors associated with increased child abuse are personal characteristics of the abusing parent, such as personality and substance abuse, and of the child, the family's socioeconomic status, stressful experiences, social isolation, marital conflict, and the abusing parents having been abused as a child. Research has confirmed that children who witness parental violence or who are themselves abused are more likely as adults to inflict abuse on intimate partners or perhaps to be a victim of intimate violence. Child trafficking. Many childhood challenges have resulted into different forms of psychopathology among children. Just like streetism and juvenile delinquency, child trafficking is another form of challenge, and it is the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of children for the purpose of exploitation. Trafficking in persons shall mean the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of the threat or the use of force or other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, of deception, of the abuse of power, or of a position of vulnerability, or of the giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. Exploitation shall include, at the minimum, the exploitation or the prostitution of others, or other forms of sexual exploitation, forced labor or services, slavery or practices similar to slavery, servitude or the removal of organs also be deadly. Not every person who has bipolar disorder experiences this, but for those who do, it may be a serious problem. Finding the right combination of bipolar medications to control mania is an essential step towards keeping hypersexuality from becoming destructive. Individuals with insatiable desires for sex like this may enter into prostitution business to meet up with their desire for sex. Study session summary. In this study session, we examined family violence, child trafficking, childhood developmental traumas, and prostitution. We discussed the causes of the phenomena and also delved into the treatment procedures. End of study session 10. Thanks for listening.